All right, concert journal number 6, October 5th, 2023, we saw Indre, Anya Van Rose, and Twin Atomic at the Musica in Akron, Ohio.
Yeah, so this was our first trip to this venue. It's a really small one in downtown Akron. I don't know what the capacity is, 100 people?
I don't know, probably around there, a little more than that maybe.
Yeah. We got there early, so we were able to get parking right next door. I'm not really sure how friendly Akron is for parking, but whatever. We got down there early, and the reason for that is the reason that we end up doing this video. So I guess so far this group of bands is a little bit out of our norm,
Yeah.
I guess, for concerts. So why did we go see these bands?
So, I play drums and I take drum lessons, and my first drum teacher, he played in a band, and because he stopped doing the lessons where I took him, and I was like, hey, what's your band? He's like, Indre. And they're like, all right, we'll try and see you one day.
Yeah, so they went on a tour that took them out west over the summer, and they finally came back home to the Akron area, and we saw that it popped up on their socials, so we got tickets. So that's why we're at this very small venue with, or I guess, relatively small bands with that. But so just the bands. So who was the first band that we saw?
Twin Atomic. They're sort of like a punk alternative rock band. They were actually like a last-minute addition to it because there was another band that was supposed to play, but they dropped off and they took their place.
Right. Yeah, so this is the first of several bands we knew nothing about, or at least 2 bands going into it. It was also a Halloween-themed concert, because this was right up against Halloween, or at least later in the month. So they were all dressed up for it. And anything notable?
I don't know, their music was fun. They covered Misery Business by Paramore.
Yeah, that was
That's about it.
That's about it. So they were enjoyable. It was a nice quick set. Again, we didn't know the songs, but we had a good time with that. Okay, so following Twin Atomic,
Anya Van Rose. They're a like alternative indie rock band. Again, they were fun.
Yeah, and so to be fair, our descriptions of the type of music goes from what we think that they are. We try to search through their different socials or other means, like, how would they label themselves?
And they don't have much.
So we're making these up. They may, if anyone in the band should ever see this, they'll be like, that's not our style. We're more of a, well, label yourself online better. And we can speak to that. So we're just kind of our guess. So the one thing that struck me about this band, they'd gotten through most of their set, and they had done a cover before, which now I can't remember what the cover was. But
I don't remember they did a cover.
Yeah, and then they launched into another song, and I honestly thought it was a cover because I could sing the lyrics because it sounded like Love Stinks by the Jay Giles Band. Like, really, really close to that. Turns out it wasn't. It was a completely different song. And I ended up having to go through, again, I think it was either their Bandcamp or something like that. I went through, listened to all the songs, and it was a song called Setting Sun. And I'm not going to play both of them here because you get a copyright strike on that. But the opening to Love Stings sounds exactly like the opening to, not exactly. So very small variations, but you can sing one song against the other. So that's one of those instances where maybe somebody in the back of their mind came up with a chord progression or something, not realizing that in the back of their mind this was due to them listening to some classic rock stuff from the 70s and 80s.
Because I know that I've heard of some songs where it's like you can sing the lyrics to one song with the other song, it'll sound perfect. And I'm like, really? And I do it. I'm like, yep, they can do that.
So not to take away from the band, they had enjoyable music, but that was really striking. I could not hear their song or the original Jay Giles song compared to this one. So, all right, so then they wrapped up, and then who finished?
Indre, they're like indie or pop rock.
Yeah.
And so we knew the drummer, we knew the drummer.
Yep.
And we actually, we got there early to actually meet the band, a few hours early. So we met them, we saw them like set up and do sound check.
Yep. And Sam was nice enough to give you kind of a tour of.
Yeah, we got a tour of the place and like.
Yeah, his drum setup. So
yeah.
One thing that we learned was that in venues like this, there's a communal drum set.
Mm-hmm.
You just swap out the snare. I think was that the only thing that they swapped out?
I think so.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that was kind of interesting to learn that one. We learned a little bit about the sound board. They had someone in house that was going to do it, but it's something that they've had to run themselves when they were shorthanded at other venues in their tour. So that was fun, right? So to see Sam and perform, how would you rate his performance?
It was great. It was fun, energetic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of critiques did he give you as a student that you would lay against him in his play? Your timing wasn't. Oh no, it was fine. No, it was great. It was really welcoming. The band was very nice. They gave us a lot of time in their day to talk to us and answer our questions and give us some insight into their world as a small band. I mean, granted, like right after this, we went and saw Metallica. So we went from probably one of the smallest shows we'll ever go to literally the biggest metal band on the planet. So the difference, between those two, where a band can start out in one spot and end up doing 2 nights in one city and selling out all of that stuff. Not every band makes that journey, but we did get to see that. So speaking of Metallica, was there a connection with Indre?
There was. So they actually did 2 covers. They first covered Enter Sandman. And
Who sings it?
Metallica.
Okay, Metallica, okay.
They then also, at the end, they covered Bring Me to Life by Evanescence.
Yeah. And there was some reason why they did Enter Sandman. They have some sort of like, I don't say cult following, but a following at a university campus, which I'm losing track of, and that song is played at their sporting events. So they learned it, and then they're performing it for that crowd when they're touring through that area. But in addition to that, what else happened with the Enter Sandman song?
So they're about to play it, and they do it, and then the singer's like, "This one's for Billy," and we're like, "That's me."
Well, I didn't say it for me, but anyway, so he got a shout out. Mm-hmm. So you've been going to concerts for, let's say, 2 years. You already got a shout out at a show from a band member launching into a song. So
yeah, because Sam knew I was a massive Metallica fan. So
yeah.
The back patch had like a million shirts.
Yeah, I mean, Phil Anselmo knows that I'm a massive Pantera fan, and he'd never shouted out a song to me. So it doesn't happen to everybody that goes to shows. So congratulations on that. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And then we also, in the past, have tried to get set lists from performers that we've seen, and as anybody can attest to, it is hard to get set lists. So how did we fare in this show?
So we cheated by earlier when we saw them writing the set list. We were like, "Can you save one for us?" And they're like, "Okay." And then at the end, we got the set list.
Yeah, so exactly. So if you know the band, you can just ask for it, and they'll give you one. So that was a great memento from this concert.
Yeah. So next time we go to a show, I'll just call up the members and be like, "Hey, can you save a set list for me?"
That's right. Yeah. So good luck with that. Let me know how that plays out for you. So how would we rate the band? So we'll start with the first one, which was the Twin Atomic.
Green, they were fun. I'd like to see them again.
Yeah, I agree. I think our answers for all of these will be biased because they're local bands, and you kind of want to support your local, music scene. So I think really any of these bands would be great to see again. It would be nice. We have a couple local festivals, some of the smaller ones, to see them show up there. These are perfect festival bands.
Yeah, like Buzzard Fest.
Yeah, good energy. Even if you don't know the songs, they're very engaging and they were fun. So yeah, that was a green. Anya Van Rose.
Gangrene, fun.
Yeah. Yeah, again, green. It was enjoyable. But the last one, which was kind of the star of the show for us, which Indre, how would you...
Green, fun, like their music.
Yeah. All the band members, would you give the different rating for the drummer? No. Okay, yeah, that's a green. They were great. So we had purchased their album online before, so we were familiar with some of their songs. So that was great. Actually, I think digitally, I had gotten it online.
Oh yeah.
And then when we were there, that kind of launches right into the merch. So the merch for this, what did we end up buying from the merch?
So we got a sticker set with a pin that is cool, and then we also got a CD, which we then got signed by everyone in the band.
Yeah, so that was a nice, again, memento for this, to not only meet the band, spend time with them, to have them all sign their CD. They wanted to give us the stickers and the pins, but I'm like, I mean, it's next to nothing, and you know that I gotta imagine that small bands are not doing, huge sales, so I didn't want to take away even if it was a couple dollars from that, but it was generous of them to do that. But anyway, it was very nice to come away with our signed CD, or your signed CD, I should say, for that. It'll be always a good memory from this particular concert.
Yeah.
So the other bands had merch as well, but obviously we were just there to see the one band, so not that we wouldn't love to support them, but we ended up not getting anything from those. So we also normally do a t-shirt breakdown, we keep track of the first 100 shirts we see and the top 5, and I don't think that there was maybe more than 30 or 40 people here, so and I don't think really any concert shirts were even prevalent. Now granted, it was slightly biased because it was a Halloween night, and so they had told attendees, if you want to dress up in a costume, which some did.
Yeah, but also like the only like band shirts were Indre shirts, which they bought at the venue, and like those don't count.
Yeah, right, exactly. But anyway, so we won't do that segment of our little video because it didn't really play to this one. But that goes kind of right into our first. This is a lot of firsts for this one, but first for all the bands.
Yes. First time we knew someone in a band and saw them.
Correct. We actually got to watch a sound check.
Yes.
And a little bit of the setup with all of that. So that was a unique part of the band experience, or the concert experience I've never seen.
First shout out for me.
First shout out, probably the last. but the first, at least the first shout out. And then we got signed merch.
Yeah, first time we got something signed.
Yeah. So that's the nice thing about the small venues. I think it'd be nice to kind of do a little bit more of these types of shows. A, they're cheap, and B, it's a little bit more personal because it's a much smaller venue. So that was enjoyable. So our overall review of this. So the venue. How would you rate the venue?
Green. It's fun. If we ever go to a small show, it'd be fun to see some small bands there.
Yeah, there's a little bit of seating, a lot of standing room, but again, every seat's a good seat or good standing area, so that's a green. The merch? Green,
it was good. There wasn't much, but...
Yeah, I think this one, you feel like it's going to get more into the hands of the artists, and they, not that every artist doesn't need the money, but you feel like you're contributing one-on-one, because the people in the band are the ones that are selling you the merch for it, so that part's fine. So yeah, it was enjoyable. It was nice to get the CD in person, even though we already owned it. And then finally, the overall concert experience.
Green, it was fun seeing all the bands. Fun to experience a small show.
Yeah. Yeah, again, since we follow this up with going to see Metallica, so it's quite the difference between those two. Yeah, it was a green. Again, local music scene. I've never seen that before, and to have that kind of personal connection with the band was extra fun. Having worked with Sam all that time, that you actually got to watch him perform. So next time he'll have to watch you perform. All right. This is a short one. Thanks for watching, and until the next one, see ya.
Electronic is nicer, so you don't have to buy symbols or anything. I'm at line 6, but these two have fun seeing like your shirt.
Oh yeah.